I'm hardcore Indian, sir. Hardcore Indian, just one. And Dubai is not under attack. They are just basically intercepting the missiles, so debris is falling in Dubai.
Whatever it is, debris is falling. There is no debris.
I have few suggestions for the policy. So I could see in policy we are giving some advantage to few categories like women-led startups and transgender-led startups. So I propose that why not we include some advantage for physically challenged people also if they are doing startup. So that can also be incorporated in the policy. Besides this, I would also like to say that we need to sensitize faculty. Basically, faculty should be aware about what is startup. We can provide them certain benefits, like if they publish a paper or they publish a patent or they get patent granted. So some incentives or some benefits are being given by the university or college to the faculty. And if they support a startup, we can also extend that support to the faculty so that they become, they prime the basically students. Students need priming at a very initial stage, as everybody has mentioned over here. So when a student joins higher secondary, higher education institute, so then and there only they should be provided that information about what they can do in terms of their career, and if they choose the startup as their career path. So the faculty should be attached with the student, and then they can move forward in that journey together. So the faculty should be also benefited, and students who are running the startup, they can also get the benefit from the faculty, especially when it comes to strengthening their technology path. So that faculty will be playing a very vital role in that aspect. So this is my submission that faculty should be, we need to put some emphasis on faculty also so that we can sensitize them through this policy. That can be done there. And besides, we have one, it's a common thought from Technology Enabling Center. We closely work with the startup, and we feel that startup really struggle for getting their first order. So they do not have access to the market. So that's a huge problem. We have worked with startups from past 2 years, and we have seen that startups really struggle for getting their first order. So some inputs in that category, maybe through Department of Industries. If industry deploys their product, or if they acquire their product at the first instance, like at first place, then it will be a boost for them, and then only they can move to the larger market. So that input is from my end.
So in response to ma'am, your queries, so I agree that having access to market is a very important part. So for this, so there is another parallel program by Ministry of MSME, which is the World Bank supported program. It's raising and accelerating MSME performance, RAP. So under that program, Chandigarh has proposed to build a virtual pavilion. So that again, virtual pavilion will be part of the portal that I've been talking about. It will be one of the modules. That's why it's going to take 7 to 8 months to make it go live, because it has multiple such modules. It has virtual incubation, it has MSME pavilion, it has online incentive disbursement, and many such more. So we believe that MSME pavilion, virtual pavilion, would actually, which will be obviously open for startups as well as MSMEs. So that will add some advantage. Additionally, I understand Chandigarh has not themselves anchored any reverse buy-sell meet or a vendor development program per se. So again, under RAMP, we are planning to collaborate with Federation of Indian Exports Organizations, FIO, which will be taking care of RBSM and BDPPs for us. Further, I feel there is a little less awareness about GEM and ONDC. So these two programs, see, the government has their, so the central government is doing a lot many interventions, right? And to ensure that that such interventions reaches the business owners, we are also curating a lot many awareness sessions. Till now, Department of Industries has done 52 awareness sessions on topics like ONDC, how to register yourself on GEM.
So see, जब तक आपका GEM registration नहीं होगा, government can not take you in. So you need to be listed on GEM, be registered. और इन टॉपिक्स के ऊपर अवेयरनेस सेशंस देने के लिए we really need people. हमें ऑडियंस नहीं मिलती. आप कह रहे लोगों को जरूरत है, हमें ऑडियंस नहीं मिलती है. MSMEs are not willing to come in. उनको होता है कि हम काम करें कि हम ये करें, या वो आते भी है तो they have half of the attention. Now again, to cater this, I have a help desk of 3 people. I make them go to 62,000 उद्यम registered MSME जो database मेरे पास है, to each one of their door. You will not believe क्या सुन के आते हैं वो वहाँ से. मतलब they like आ जाते हो, हमें नहीं सुनना. मतलब again हमें लगता है कि people do not know, but अगर हम उनके पास भी जाके उन्हें बता रहे हैं पकड़ के कि सुनो हमारी बात, then also they're not interested. So one thing that I really want, sir, with PU, we can collaborate and have. So we are doing with industrial associations of Chandigarh. We have 6 local-based associations who are empaneled with us. तो उनके थ्रू हम MSMEs और startups को reach out करके sessions deliver कर रहे हैं. So we can have such session with Punjab University also, क्योंकि आपका भी startup ecosystem है. You have started startups empaneled. So we can have a session on ONDC, Open Network Digital Commerce. We can have a session on GEM for government orders. ये दो are prima facie very important for government orders, not ONDC per se, but GEM. दूसरी जो मैंने 2 जगह से ये सजेशन सुना कि हमें फैकल्टी को परसेंटेज देना चाहिए. I have a very basic question. Maybe I have a lack of understanding. I have not, so none of the policies or none of the programs limit faculty to be a partner. They can be a co-founder. They can share the equity. क्योंकि अब एक स्टार्टअप जब एक इंक्यूबेटर के पास आता है, अब नाउ इन पॉलिसी आई कैन नॉट आस्क फॉर इक्विटी क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट कैन नॉट होल्ड इक्विटी. सिंपल. तो गवर्नमेंट यूजुअली होल्ड्स इक्विटी थ्रू सेक्शन 8 कंपनीज और ट्रस्ट और सोसाइटीज. जो भी इंक्यूबेटर्स बाकी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स ने एस्टैब्लिश करे हैं वो या तो ट्रस्ट है या सेक्शन 8 है या फिर कोई सोसाइटी. So that's how they're able to hold equity. We have not established any because again, but I wanted to take it one step at a time. So एकदम से इनको सेक्शन 8 भी अगर हम establish कर देते हैं, उसको रन करने का भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के पास कैपेसिटी नहीं थी. So what we decided was कि हम as a government जाते हैं. अब जब इंक्यूबेटर के साथ मैंने लिंकेज बोला है, अब every incubator has their own percentage. I cannot put that in the policy. I cannot limit an incubator and a startup का percent equity sharing. So I cannot define that. So maybe that fails as a policy intervention in for startups. So मेरे policy के through startups empanel नहीं होंगे या incubators recognize नहीं होंगे. So that has not been included per se. दूसरा, जब हम फैकल्टी को, जब हम स्टार्टअप इंक्यूबेटर के पास आ रहा है और वो इंक्यूबेटर 2% या 3 जो भी उनका क्लॉज है इक्विटी होल्ड कर रहा है, तो व्हाई डू वी नीड टू गिव फैकल्टी अ सेपरेट इक्विटी?
So I believe equity they'll hold when they are involved in that startup. I'm saying if they are mentoring, if they are providing their expertise, they are helping them out.
See, I think this resides in the realm of the university. The administration has nothing to do with it.
वैसे भी स्टार्टअप और उसमें रहेगा ना, what kind of mentoring that person is providing.
It is within the university policy. What role do they find for a faculty and what kind of stakes will it allow for the faculty? So this question is not relevant for this class.
So basically, sorry to interrupt. It is just a thrust that we need that the faculty also jumps into the thing. That's the only part.
So faculty encouragement and faculty entrepreneurship program is there and encouraged in all the central universities at least. I do not know what university are you talking about the private domain or the state university domain. But this does not reside within the realm of this discussion here. It goes to it needs to be addressed to the university. We'll take a comment from the lady there and then request.
From ma'am there.
After that.
Yeah. We'll go around.
I'm Dr. Mary, assistant professor in UITPU, and I think I'm audible. Assistant professor in UITPU, and as well as I'm a co-founder of a biotech-based startup Batch Biotech Private Limited. Ma'am, a lot of debate is going on about the faculty incentive. Let me tell my view. Even I don't think about my incentive. I'm very much eager to have some EIR, that is entrepreneur in residence, for the co-founder and the director of that company, because she is giving her 100% for the company. I cannot give 100%. If I say that I'm giving 100%, that is quite wrong, because I have my regular faculty job. Now, ma'am, if that director goes for her salary, for her bread and butter, if she goes for some other research fellow post or like that, so that is also an injustice to that project and to her own startup. So, ma'am, what I think you can consider about EIR scheme to introduce in this startup policy. And all over India, there are so many, EIR scheme is already rotated. So you kindly add this part here also. And moreover, what I think, faculty lead startup should get some more. You said that ideation stage 2 lakhs for the first 20, then 1 lakhs. I know it is a good try, but ma'am, for faculty, for females, because females are the main catalyst for building this Atmanirbhar Bharat, as our Prime Minister said, even last day also I have seen so many news. So ma'am, you should think to give something more to the females, so that they can get an extra energy, so they can come to these startup things, and otherwise I think.
Ma'am, the point is well taken. Let's move on from here to the next.
Thank you. Hi everyone, it's Anuvi here. I don't know if I'm the only founder. There are more founders, okay, so thankfully. So I am running a deep tech company here from Chandigarh. It's AI and robotics for manufacturing. And I just had a few points. I've read the policy thoroughly. First of all, thank you for the policy, much awaited. It's been a long time you're waiting for the policy to come. But there are a few things I thought it would be right to just put it out there, at least from the founder's perspective, what we are thinking about it. So the first thing is, I did not see a representation of startup founders in the committee. So you had 2-3 committees, but they did not have any representation from the founders themselves. So I think there should be 2 or 3 founders from the region who can be there and actually just, share their ideas or whatever they're going through. That just aligns it very tightly with the real ground truth. Secondly, what is the timeline of the approvals of the grants? Because one thing which is most important for us, more than anything, is speed. If you give me 10 lakhs today and it takes 12 months to get in my account, it has lost the value. So if it happens really quickly, if it happens in a month's time, in 2 months' time, that is when it really holds any value. The third thing is the quantum of the amount that is given to us. This is very much dependent on the stage itself, but a 2 lakh grant for a idea stage startup for 20 startups, it's not useful to any of the startups. We can reduce the number of startups if we are limited by the fund and give more quantum to maybe a chota batch, 5, 6, 7 startups, so that it really helps. Again, from idea to the POC stage, this is actually, we are not POC, we are right now out in the market, deploying at customer sites, closer to TRL 7. But from the VC's perspective, we are still a seed stage company. We are not a Series A company because we still don't have the PMF with 50 customers. Now for a seed stage company like ours, who's deep tech, who is building in AI, we have our own robotics lab. The amount of money that we require is in the likes of crores. It's not to the likes of 5-10 lakhs. It will not help us. I will not even put in my effort and time to apply for it. Because applying, getting it in tranches is just taking a lot more of my time than the real money, value the money will bring. So like Radhika said, it has to align with the national visions. So yeah, I think timeline should be there on the policy itself, that it will not take more than that time to get it approved.
It's part of operational guidelines if you go through.
Acha, then I probably missed that bit. The third thing, Another thing I wanted to say here was, can we have some sort of hiring support? I'm trying to get lots of folks from Bangalore, good, developers, AI developers, product managers. They don't see any incentive coming to Chandigarh. यहाँ पे ecosystem नहीं है, so it's really hard to pull them here. If there is some sort of support in the sense, if we are able to bring few folks, can we get maybe 20-30% support from the government or rebate or something like that? That will also build the ecosystem then.
There is a new scheme recently launched by government. It's related to employment. I'm missing the name currently. So उसके अंदर ये clause है कि for first time employers, जो first time employers हैं, उनके लिए भी grant है और जो first time employee बन रहे हैं, उनके लिए भी grant है.
So we can apply through that.
Yes.
So that brings to my next point. We are not aware of these things.
Again, you need to come to those sessions.
Maybe I think you're saying you're developing that portal. If there is a portal like that where we can go and have a look at these things, it will be helpful.
Sure.
I think mostly this. Around the equity though, I do have one point. VCs do not touch startups who have disbursed more than 5% of their equity in the very early stages. They do not touch at all. So we should be very careful of what kind of equity the incubators take or the advisors or the mentors. It should not go beyond maximum 2%, and it has to be validated why the 2% was given. Otherwise, VCs don't touch it. So it's like a debt equity, which they say that we don't want to touch equity. But yeah, thanks everyone.
Mike, it's okay? Good afternoon. I'm Sanjeev, and we have industry in Mohali. And I'm very happy to listen to all this conversation happening here. I was involved in the conversation, like Manu told me today morning that there's a session on some brainstorming session on policy being created by Chandigarh government. I'm audible today?
Yes, you are.
So, my first basic question comes to is that this policy draft, I have not seen it, I don't know what it is. What is the objective of this policy and what is the objective of this very debate here? Is it something that the Chandigarh administration has got some grants from the central government and they want to disperse it and they want to create a policy that how they have to dispose that money and how it is accounted for? Is that one objective? Or is the objective larger than that, that they want to create Chandigarh as an economic hub, a metro kind of a city which is the only metro which could be possible in north of Delhi. And when you talk of, it could be a joint of this Tri-City, Chandigarh, Mohali, Panchkula and this larger region. Because the discussions that are taking place here, we have to correlate them with the objective. If the objective is the first one, I think we are quite happy in this debate. कि पैसे किसको मिलेगा, कितना मिलेगा, कब मिलेगा, कैसे मिलेगा, पोर्टल से मिलेगा, नहीं मिलेगा, इक्विटी किसकी होगी, नहीं होगी, very good, we are fine. 1 lakh, 2 lakh जो भी करना है. But we are looking at the larger picture of converting this region into a major economic hub, a metropolitan city. Then the thought process has to be a little different. And we have got a lot of ideas in this room right now based on that larger objective. So maybe, ma'am, if the objective is the larger one, then we should collateralize that with this larger one. So we should get these ideas together and work on it together. You mentioned that we don't have or we can't have major manufacturing in Chandigarh. That's true. So that's one point. So we have to point out, this is one point, not negotiable, we stick to that. Second, she mentioned that some incubators might come here and once they get started, then they'll move out from here. They go to Hyderabad, somewhere, they go out. So that's point number 2. So that is failing objective. Second point, failing objective, you can do it. Third, he mentioned about the focus that companies should have on R&D. Professor Vyas mentioned about focus on Industry 4.0 and digitalization. These are all very important points and we have to get them together. Gentleman there, Angat, he left, he's not here. He made a very interesting suggestion on opening up a cafe to get these things, thought process together in one place. Now, when we say that we cannot have a manufacturing base in Chandigarh, that's very good. So we say we don't go for manufacturing base, we go for something else. We go for the support system for the manufacturing base. We create an environment here wherein we don't go for large scale heavy manufacturing, but we go for design labs, we go for R&D centers here. We create startups which focus not on manufacturing, but we focus on providing a service to the industry which is required. People mentioned about how to design a product. So I think if you just, ma'am, somebody makes note of it. Good points here. See, we have area where you have some product development. So there is some knowledge based on the product designing. So product designing doesn't require manufacturing. It doesn't require a large manufacturing setup. It could be done somewhere anyone in Chandigarh. Then we have process designing. That how to make the product that you are making. Again, that doesn't need a major manufacturing setup. It requires more of an engineering brain and knowledge-based activity, how to do it. Then you do it, how to convert this into a large-scale manufacturing. That's again a drawing board kind of a concept. It might involve a little bit of prototyping or proto sampling, but then it goes to the product validation. How are you going to validate that product? So how can any startup in Chandigarh think on those lines that we will provide validation to you for any product that is there. Then another thing, like people mentioned that the difficult point is getting into the market. So how do you manage your time to market? How do you reduce the time to market? How do you ensure your market entry? How do you ensure that you're getting your product in the place where it's required? Another thing is people say that it's difficult for them to manage the finances. How do they manage the finances? How do they manage their capex and their opex, and how do they ensure they're working on? Another point we mentioned was how they manage their IPs. You know, no startup would be in a position to manage all the things that I mentioned right now in one go. So maybe we have startups who think on those basis, a need-based startup who understand the problem statement, and they say that we will do this part of the story and we'll help others or manufacturing industry to do it, and we'll make our money out of that. So I think look into this part of the thing, that if we are thinking, the advantage that we have here in Chandigarh is that we have very good academia here, we've got very good knowledge centers here, we've got research things, we've got Mohali mein there's a line of thing, nearby airport where we have everything is there. So how we can consolidate all, we should look at a strength, and our strength would be not in manufacturing, Chandigarh based, but into the area where we can provide knowledge to the manufacturing industry to work on this. Again, you know, like she mentioned that how can we give something, incentive to somebody coming from outside to here. Honestly speaking, you meet anybody in the social circle anywhere, they say Chandigarh is a great place. It's a great place to stay. It's a great place to come and retire. But it's not a career option city. Nobody wants to stay here to build a career. Career build karna to jao ji Hyderabad, jao Bangalore, jao, they're bored of here. So we have to change that perception. And that will happen if we are able to create one system of environment which we do it. So that's my take on it. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other comment? Yes, please be brief.
Yeah, wait. A very good afternoon to all of you. I am Dr. Vandita Thakkar and I am Associate Professor, a faculty member at UIPS Punjab University. I think a lot has been said about AI and engineering. So I belong to healthcare where the main milestone would be the clinical trial. I have a couple of products in pipeline where we would need grant which would be in crores. So how can we get that support from Chandigarh UT? That is my major query, because we have a couple of products which are at TRL 5. So we need to take them forward. How can we do that?
So we have grants for incubators as well, right? So the incubator has again the amount is small, but that can be capped with the incubator's own funding, and to that we are adding a piece. So incubator can use that grant for doing all the trials, job bata rahe hain, and that grant also involves again mentorship session for startups and for their knowledge building for their incubator faculty. So all of those pieces are there.
That is perfect, but if we have a startup and we want to have an academic trial with PJI, so why do we need to go through an incubator? Being a faculty member, having a startup in place, why do we have to route it through the incubator? Why can't a startup directly go away with the academic partner and do the clinical trial? Why would the startup have to give that share to the incubator? Why can't we have that change being made over here?
Again, see, PGI, the only route that has been established in the ecosystem at national level and across all levels is that there are two systems again. First is through incubators, second is partnership with that organization that you're saying, and on lesser amounts वो आपका trial या whatever laboratory test है वो करवा देंगे. So these are two processes that can happen, as far as I am aware.
No, my query is very different. Let it be PGI, let it be 32 or any other hospital concerned. They are not charging anything from me. My query is that if I am owning my own company and being a faculty member, why do I need to incubate with any of the incubator?
But
Why
you-
can't
you
it be a
should-
direct deal?
You should be able to get through to PGI through the tech here. This
Yeah,
is
definitely, we are going
She
to
is
go to
deputy
the tech.
coordinator tech.
So I am the co-coordinator of
So
tech.
why this question? See, what is so I don't know the answer to this specific question, but what
Sir, let me please. Sorry
what
for
is the
interrupting.
confusion?
Mandita, तुम्हें सवाल क्यों उठाया? You have the answer for this,
Sir, no.
right? You came to me. You said कि हम वायरस में apply करेंगे. You
Yeah.
industry partner will find it out.
Sir,
But we
that
do
is-
not have to go through this sort of way, na?
Okay, I
Right?
think that's fine.
So,
We can.
this just topic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
मेरी
नहीं अभी तो अगर मैं वैसे कर सकता हूँ
एक दो बीच में अभी
इसको आंसर कर सकता हूँ मैं कैसे करना है
Is it-
बात कर लेते हैं.
one thing that is emerging after the discussion is that according to me you need a prime mover for doing all these things. The tech should be empowered to drive all this activity. You can go on refining it, you can go on debating it, but you need to have some prime mover to do that. The technology enabling centers in the country were established about 10 years ago precisely for this reason, precisely to do this kind of activity. When you would remember that we first had the discussion in the presence of Dr. Baldev Raj in Jawaharlal Nehru Center for JNS Car in Bangalore, where we decided to set up centers and that is how it emerged. Centers in practically all major states of the country. We have 23 such centers. Punjab University Center is one of the most successful centers, which has resulted in bringing about the gathering of this type and enabled us to carry out this discussion. Now the thing is that this center should be strengthened. The initial support that it got from the central government and the Ministry of Science and Technology, that has outlived its life. It was expected that these centers would become self-sustainable and carry out precisely these kinds of activities. They would also, one of the mandate was that they would not the DSIR kind of labs, but at least they would have labs which would help in design. They would have design labs, electronic design, manufacturing design labs. It would have prototyping centers for electronic prototyping. And these TECs were expected to facilitate that. It requires investment. This university or the entire Chandigarh region would hardly have any latest design software, the latest tools in design, latest tools in analysis, latest AI-enabled tools, latest AI platforms with subscriptions. So empower this, and that is my request to the administration also, that apart from investing in startups, invest in this TEC in the university itself. It requires immediate investment. It is panting for breath. I was told yesterday that, and I should reveal that they have salaries only for the next 9 months. If the money does not come from the central government, all this will have to be closed down. So we need investment first of all from either Chandigarh